यशोदानंदन व्रज जन रंजन यशोदानंदन व्रज जन रंजन यमुना तीरा वनचारी
यमुना तीरा
यमुना तीरा
वनचारी
वनचारी
यमुना तीरा वनचारी
जयो राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी
जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी
जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी
जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी
गोपी जना वल्लभ गिरिवरदारी
जय गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी
गोपी जना वल्लभ गिरिवरदारी
जय गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी
यशोदानंदन व्रज जन रंजन यशोदानंदन व्रज जन रंजन यमुना तीर वनचारी यमुना तीर वनचारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी जय ओम विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्राजकाचार्य स्तोत्र सदस्य श्रीमद शीलाबे चरणारविंद भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी प्रभुपाद की जय। जय ओम विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्राजकाचार्य स्तोत्र सदस्य श्रीमद शील भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती गोसाई महाराज प्रभुपाद की जय। अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय। ग्रंथराज श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय। हरे कृष्ण। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम ज्ञानामतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। मुखं करोति वाचालं पङ्गुं लङ्घयति गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरुं। देहं श्रीगुरुं श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरुं वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगण रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha. Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Shri Jai Pataka Swami. Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Nitnamine. Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatari. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. We are very happy to meet the offline devotees and also many online devotees who are so eager to hear how we can distribute Srimad Bhagavatam sets. First of all, let us offer our unlimited humble obeisances to the Adi speaker of Srimad Bhagavatam, which is none other than the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord Shri Krishna. And then we can offer our obeisance also to the middle speakers, such as Sri Narada Muni, who also comes in Srimad Bhagavatam and who also is a speaker of Srimad Bhagavatam. Then we must offer always our humble obeisances to the recent speaker of Srimad Bhagavatam, Sri Shukadeva Goswami. And also we have more recent speakers, particularly in the line of Brahma Madhva Gaudi Sampradaya. We have our ISKCON founder Acharya, His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. He is also a speaker of Srimad Bhagavatam. There are so many speakers of Srimad Bhagavatam. And also we offer our obeisances to the writer of Srimad Bhagavatam, which is Vyasadeva. Actually, he is the speaker. In fact, whoever is speaking, they are also in one sense writer. Speaking or writing, it's all same. So let us offer all our humble obeisances to all the great devotees of the Lord who have spoken Srimad Bhagavatam for us, and also to the wonderful devotees who have heard Srimad Bhagavatam. We know that Parikshit Maharaj heard Srimad Bhagavatam, but Narada Muni also heard Srimad Bhagavatam from his Guru Maharaj. And Brahmadev, he also heard Srimad Bhagavatam. The Sanakadi Rishis heard Srimad Bhagavatam. And Vedavyas, he himself heard Srimad Bhagavatam. And our own Srila Prabhupada heard Srimad Bhagavatam from his Guru Maharaj. Like that, whole parampara is filled with speakers and hearers of Srimad Bhagavatam. All exalted Vaishnavas, Mahabhagavatas. Only by their mercy, we are now hearing about Srimad Bhagavatam or even speaking about Srimad Bhagavatam. Now, particularly, we are here speaking about the distribution of Srimad Bhagavatam. In fact, whoever spoke about Srimad Bhagavatam, that itself is like a distribution of Srimad Bhagavatam. When we say that Lord Krishna, he spoke Bhagavatam to Brahma, he has distributed Bhagavatam to Brahma. And when we say that Sukadeva Goswami spoke Bhagavatam to Parikshit Maharaj, and also many assembled sages, it is he has distributed Srimad Bhagavatam to many, many sages, including the great Maha Radharishi Parikshit Maharaj. So it is since time immemorial that the knowledge of Srimad Bhagavatam is distributed. But now the knowledge of Srimad Bhagavatam is available in a printed format. And now exclusively we want to distribute this knowledge which is there in the printed format, given to us mercifully by the founder Acharya of ISKCON, His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. So we should offer our obeisances also to all the great distributors, the distributors since time immemorial. Let us offer our humble obeisances and let us take their mercy Particularly, I want to take their mercy, whatever mercy they have given on me to distribute Srimad Bhagavatam sets in my life. Let me share that knowledge with you. Srimad Bhagavatam, it's a very glorious literature. I have to thank ISKCON Cultural Center temple president also, because he mercifully allowed us to occupy his temple and then mercifully given us the chance to distribute Srimad Bhagavatam sets in his locality and also far and wide. And interestingly, today we had a guest speaker for this temple for the morning Srimad Bhagavatam class. It was His Holiness Bhakti Vijaya Bhagavata Swami Maharaj. His name itself is like Vijaya Bhagavata, victorious Bhagavata. So he gave a very wonderful glorification of Srimad Bhagavatam. I humbly request the viewers to hear the lecture if they have not heard in the morning today. You can find in the ISKCON Cultural Center YouTube channel, South Bengaluru, that you'll be able to find the lecture of His Holiness Bhakti Vijaya Bhagavata Swami Maharaj. Really, he made a nice presentation of Srimad Bhagavatam. The importance of Srimad Bhagavatam is very much needed if you want to distribute Srimad Bhagavatam. You want to distribute Srimad Bhagavatam, then you should know what is Srimad Bhagavatam. So it is incumbent on a distributor that first he knows what is Srimad Bhagavatam. At least, if not full, at least you should know the glories of Srimad Bhagavatam. And it doesn't, I am not coming to say that only if you finish Srimad Bhagavatam, you'll be able to distribute Srimad Bhagavatam. By the mercy of Krishna, Srila Prabhupada, that even if you're reading or if you're just having a study of Srimad Bhagavatam, not having finished, still you'll be able to distribute Srimad Bhagavatam. Even if you have not started to read Bhagavatam, you are only in Bhagavad Gita, still you'll be able to distribute Srimad Bhagavatam. Even if you are a non-devotee, still you'll be able to distribute Srimad Bhagavatam, because I have many experiences seeing that even non-devotee was distributing Srimad Bhagavatam. So there is no qualification needed. Someone may ask, what is the qualification to distribute Srimad Bhagavatam? I won't say that there is any particular qualification needed. If at all you have a desire to distribute Srimad Bhagavatam, then you can distribute it. So the only qualification is that you should simply desire. At least that qualification you should have. So today we heard a very good glorification of Srimad Bhagavatam, and Maharaj, he spoke so spontaneously, wonderfully, and on the spot he could distribute some 6 sets of Srimad Bhagavatam also. And not that we are hearing glories of Srimad Bhagavatam from one particular person. All over ISKCON centers, constant glorification of Srimad Bhagavatam is always going on. At least on every day, on one particular verse we are speaking. But on a whole subject, Bhagavatam and its glories is also spoken by so many Maharajas in ISKCON society. We should constantly hear the glories of Srimad Bhagavatam. What is Srimad Bhagavatam? So whoever is willing to distribute Srimad Bhagavatam, they should hear what Srimad Bhagavatam is all about. Otherwise, how it is possible for us to distribute Srimad Bhagavatam? Sometimes the constant hearing will help us distribute Srimad Bhagavatam. I remember when I distributed Srimad Bhagavatam said to one of my friends, it took me at least some 6-7 years for me to give Srimad Bhagavatam to him. The first time I approached, he neglected, he heard. The second time, then the third time, fourth time, fifth time. Because I was a full-time brahmachari, I did not have much time to speak with him. But whenever I meet him, I used to ask him that why don't you take Srimad Bhagavatam this time? But after 7 years, I was distributing Bhagavatam set to him. And the 7th time when I gave Bhagavatam set to him, it was not a easy, it was a very easy task for me, because he has always heard what is this literature for 6 years from me. So 7th time, I went with a motive that he won't take Bhagavatam, he will say next year or next time. But incidentally, to my surprise, he immediately agreed. Anyway, you are always coming and speaking about this literature. Let me take it now. You are not going to leave me if I am not going to take. Uh, so better I take it. And then he took it. So because of constantly approaching, then at one point of time, he took it. So what I'm coming to say is that you should also constantly hear about book distribution. Then the first time you may think, okay, this Prabhu is speaking about book distribution is not possible for me. Just as somebody will say, this Bhagavatam set is not for me, I won't buy. Then the second time you hear a lecture on book distribution, Bhagavatam distribution, then you may say, anyway, he's always speaking, he's again speaking. Anyway, I can't distribute Bhagavatam set. This is not for me. The second time, third time, fourth time, fifth time. Then finally, after many times, there may be light coming into your mind. Okay, at least let me start distribution now. So it's always good to hear. Before me, so many senior sannyasis, ISKCON, and senior Prabhus from ISKCON society, they have always spoken about distribution of Prabhupada books and even distribution of Srimad Bhagavatam sets also. It's not that I'm speaking something new. I'm just speaking whatever they have also spoken. But constantly we have to again and again speak. Just as Srila Prabhupada, he always spoke about the difference between body and the soul. We are not the body, but we are the soul. But constant hearing, we make the subject matter so clear. So when we constantly hear about book distribution, Bhagavatam distribution, then it becomes very clear to us that this is a very, very important task for us to do. So we should constantly hear such lectures where book distribution is very much stressed, because this is a very important activity that Srila Prabhupada set forth in our movement. As I previously said, Srila Prabhupada spent all his time, particularly he just stopped his sleep and he was translating whole night Srimad Bhagavatam for us. In fact, Srila Prabhupada, when he went to the West, he did not take Bhagavad Gita with him. He took Srimad Bhagavatam with him for distribution. He had a personal copy of Chaitanya Charitamrita, which he was releasing. But for distribution, Prabhupada took Srimad Bhagavatam, first canto. That was the only thing which he finished that time. So because someone may object to a Bhagavatam distribution, that why one should distribute Bhagavatam immediately. Let us start with a small book, then gradually a big book, then Bhagavad Gita, Krishna, Nectar of the Ocean, then we can come for Bhagavatam. But Prabhupada did not follow that. Prabhupada was giving Bhagavatam first. In fact, he did not have Bhagavad Gita at all. Just because some lady requested Srila Prabhupada, Swamiji, why don't can you recommend some Bhagavad Gita for me in the market? I want to buy Bhagavad Gita and then read it. Then Srila Prabhupada, seeing that there is no bona fide edition of Bhagavad Gita available, he himself translated Bhagavad Gita. Otherwise, Prabhupada was distributing Bhagavatam only and he was translating Bhagavatam only. Because of some recommendation, then he did that. He did a translation of Bhagavad Gita long back, but still he was intently, even the initial disciples of Srila Prabhupada, they did not even know that what the Swamiji is doing at night. Every night he is just waking up and then he is keep on typing something. But it was second canto, third canto. They did not even, the initial disciples, they did not know that what Swamiji is doing, what he will do by typewriting or printing these, publishing these books, for whom he is doing, nothing they know. But Srila Prabhupada was thinking, no, this is a very important literature that has to be there in the market to be presented to the conditioned soul. So he was translating. Prabhupada put all efforts. Even at the deathbed, Srila Prabhupada was translating Srimad Bhagavatam. You all know this, you'd have seen this. Even at the deathbed, Srila Prabhupada, like Bhishma Dev, he was glorifying Krishna in his arrow bed at the time of his death. Similarly, Srila Prabhupada was glorifying Krishna in his deathbed in the form of Srimad Bhagavatam. So it's a very, very important literature. And as Bhagavatam itself says, Srimad Bhagavatam Vaishnavanam Priyam. It's very, very dear to the Vaishnavas. So if one wants to become a pure devotee of Krishna, then it is not possible without Srimad Bhagavatam. So Srimad Bhagavatam is very, very important. It's very important that everyone can become liberated go back home, back to Godhead by Srimad Bhagavatam only. In fact, Krishna also says in Bhagavad Gita, Janma karma jame divyam yevam yo vetti tatpataha tyakta deham punarjanmana iti mamiti. So Arjuna, whoever understands that my birth and activities to be transcendental, they attain my spiritual abode, they don't take birth again. And that birth and karma which Krishna speaks about in Bhagavad Gita is there only in Bhagavatam. So one has to come to Bhagavatam. Without Bhagavatam, there is no possibility of going back home, back to Godhead. Of course, Srila Prabhupada's books all are Bhagavatam, but particularly Bhagavatam is also there. So we should distribute that. And now I want to just give a small glimpse of how Srimad Bhagavatam is set forth, because um, I can give you some techniques how to distribute Bhagavatam, but then you can also know some clear information from Srimad Bhagavatam which you can present to others so that they also be convinced. We all know Vedavyas, he gave us Srimad Bhagavatam. He did not give Srimad Bhagavatam. In fact, he gave Srimad Bhagavatam little bit late. In fact, in his full maturity, he gave Srimad Bhagavatam. That's what we will find in Srimad Bhagavatam. So Vedavyas, he wrote all the Vedas. He wrote all the 17 Puranas. He divided that one Veda into 4, Rig, Yajur, Sama, Atharva. Then he gave the Vedangas. So many Vedic literatures he gave for the Karma Kandas, Jnana Kandas. So many literatures he presented. It's not a simple task. It's really a huge task. Writing 17 Puranas is not a small thing, because the Puranas are having a total of, I think, 4 lakh verses. If you exclude 18,000 verses, then just imagine so many lakhs of verses he composed for Puranas alone. And then he also presented Mahabharat, which is also 1 lakh verses. So he presented such a huge volumes of literatures. Why? For the well-being of, for the benefit of the conditioned souls of Kali Yuga. But still, he was not satisfied. He was not satisfied that he has presented such huge volumes of literature for the benefit of the people. It comes in the 4th and 5th chapter of Srimad Bhagavatam, the appearance of Narada Muni, and then the instructions of Narada Muni to Vedavyas. Vedavyas himself is saying why I am writing this literature called Srimad Bhagavatam. He himself is saying in Srimad Bhagavatam that he was heavily chastised by his Guru Maharaj, Sri Narada Muni, and then he wrote Srimad Bhagavatam. Narada Muni, seeing that Vedavyas was completely despondent, even after presentation of all the great literatures which he wrote, then Narada Muni appeared. He appeared before Vedavyas, and then he explained his despondency. So a few things which I want to read from Srimad Bhagavatam, so that you'll be really thunderstruck that this is why Vedavyas presented Srimad Bhagavatam. So this is the shloka from the 5th chapter, 1st canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. Yatha dharmadayascha muni varyanu kirtitaha na tata vasudevasya mahimahi anuvarnitaha. So this is Narada Muni speaking to Vedavyas. He is coming directly to the point. He is saying that although great sage, he's saying Mahamuni, he's saying that Vyasadeva, you are a very great sage, but you have very broadly described the 4 principles beginning with religious performances, but you have not described the glories of the Supreme Personality, Vasudeva. I'm reading the purport. The prompt diagnosis of Sri Narada is at once declared. The root cause of the despondency of Vyasadeva was his deliberate avoidance of glorifying the Lord in his various editions of the Puranas. See, Narada Muni is clearly saying, you have deliberately avoided to glorify the Supreme Personality of Godhead. But one may say that, no, he has also glorified Krishna. So here it is saying, Prabhupada is saying that he has certainly, as a matter of course, given descriptions of the glories of the Lord, Sri Krishna, but not as many as given to religiosity, economic development, sense gratification, and salvation. So he presented the Vedas. Definitely within the Vedas, he has presented the glories of Krishna also here and there. Just as he has presented Mahabharata, he has presented Bhagavad Gita beautifully within the great literature Mahabharata. He has presented 1 lakh verses for Mahabharata, Vedavyas, but he gave a little glorification of Krishna by presenting only how many verses of Bhagavad Gita? 700 verses. And then there is also Bhishma Pitamaha's Vishnu Sagarshana. Here and there he has spoken the glories of Krishna, but he has hidden the glories of Krishna. The glories of Krishna is eclipsed by the Chaturartha, the religion, sense gratification, dharma, and liberation, the economic development. So these 4 items are by far inferior to engagement in the devotional service of the Lord. Sri Vyasadeva, as the authorized scholar, knew very well this difference. And still, instead of giving more importance to the better type of engagement, namely devotional service to the Lord, he had more or less improperly used his valuable time, and thus he was despondent. From this, it is clearly indicated that no one can be pleased substantially without being engaged in the devotional service of the Lord. Yeah. So, Vedavyas, he knew that the Supreme Lord Krishna and his glories, but still he did not give much importance to that literature. And because of that, he got heavy chastisement from his Guru Maharaj, Sri Vyasadeva. Actually, the next verse is a heavy chastisement for his whole composition of Vedic literatures. This is the verse which is a very famous verse you would have heard. Nayad Vachas Padam Harer Yasho Jagat Pavitram Pragranita Karhichit Tad Vayasam Tirtam Ushanti Manasa Na Yatra Hamsa Niramant Ushikshayaha. The translation goes like this. Those words which do not describe the glories of the Lord, who alone can sanctify the atmosphere of the whole universe, are considered by saintly persons to be like unto a place of pilgrimage for crows. Since the all-perfect persons are inhabitants of the eternal abode, they do not derive any pleasure there. So Narada Muni is chastising Vyasadeva by saying that whatever he have written is for crow-like men. Just imagine, Vedavyas is heavily condemned by Narada Muni that what he have presented, he has presented such a thing, it's not an ordinary thing. He has composed the whole Vedas. He has presented all the literatures in a very beautiful way, but still, and in fact, he wrote it for the benefit of people so that people will take advantage, follow the path of Dharma. But as Bhagavatam itself is saying that Dharma prochita kaitava atra parma nirmat saranam satam, there is no sort of Dharma separate from Krishna is there in Srimad Bhagavatam. So, but in other literatures, other sorts of cheating dharmas are present. So for having presented literatures other than Srimad Bhagavatam, Vyasadeva is condemned by Narada Muni that he have presented literatures for crow-like men. People, crow-like men means who are not interested in hearing the glories of God. Those who are ready to hear about the glories of material sense gratification, this is for crow-like men. So Vedavyas, he wrote literatures in such a way that people can go to heaven, people can do pious activity, engage in this ritual, that ritual, karma kanda activities. All these things he mentioned so that people will take advantage and then follow the path of Dharma. But because of no glorification of Krishna in it, Narada Muni is heavily chastising Vyasadeva that he have presented literatures for crow-like men. And he is saying that those who are swan-like men will not come to the literatures that you have composed so far. You have composed so many literatures, but swan-like people will not come and read your literature. Because there is no glorification of Krishna. Since the all-perfect persons are inhabitants of the eternal abode, they do not derive any pleasure there. So Narada Muni is saying that write something for swan-like people. That's why Vedavyas in the second sloka, first sloka, he is saying Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. He is glorifying Krishna that you are the person from whom everything came. Immediately in the second stanza, he is saying that Dharma projita kaidavatra parma nirmat saranam satam nirmat saranam satam. So he is saying that I am presenting this Vedic literature for the Paramahamsas. From the second sloka he is saying, because my Guru Maharaj heavily chastised me that I am presenting all the Vedic literatures for the crow-like men, but this Bhagavatam which I have presented now, Nirmat Saranam Satam, Vedyam Vastam Atra Vastu Shivatam Tapatrayon Molanam. So he is saying that for the swan-like men, I am presenting Srimad Bhagavatam. With all due humility, I also want to add one extra point here. Not offending Srila Vyasdev, he's a great personality, I can't offend. But then I want to say that Vedavyas presented Srimad Bhagavatam also for crow-like men. Not that all other literatures are crow-like men. Definitely those are all for crow-like men. But Bhagavatam is also for crow-like men. And definitely who were all like crow-like men, by coming in contact with Srimad Bhagavatam, they will become like swan-like men. This Srila Prabhupada himself says in a lecture. Crow-like men will become like swan-like men by giving oral reception to Srimad Bhagavatam. We were all, or at least definitely I was a crow-like person. Now trying to become a devotee by taking shelter of Srimad Bhagavatam. So we all can become swan-like, or we all can become swan devotees of the Lord by giving oral reception to Srimad Bhagavatam. In fact, Vedavyas himself is saying that Anartha Pashamam Shakshat Bhakti Yogam Adokshate. All the crow-like people will have so many anarthas with them. But by hearing oral reception of the glories of Krishna, all these crow-like people, all the anarthas in the heart will be completely nullified. So by hearing Srimad Bhagavatam, even crow-like men will become swan-like men. So this is such a literature. Everybody in the outside world is living like a crow. There is no doubt. We are all taking filthy things. What does a crow eat? Crow eats all sorts of filthy things, and it takes its food in a very filthy place. Garbage. That is the pilgrimage of a crow. And our heart is also full of such filthy things. Or the people in the outside world, they have so many filthy things in their mind. Thinking of sex, thinking of wine, thinking of sense gratification. All these things are like garbage. And we're all going and trying to find some literature which will glorify sex, which will glorify taking all sorts of nonsense food, which will glorify sense gratificatory activities. All these are for crow-like men. And Bhagavatam can change such crow-like men into swan-like men by its presentation. So we should distribute Bhagavatam so that people come to a very high level. And today Maharaj, he spoke so wonderfully. He explained this third verse of Srimad Bhagavatam, Nigama Kalpataror Galitam Phalam Shukamakat Amrita Drava Samitam Pibata Bhagavata Rasamalaya Muhurahu Rasiko Bhuvi Bhavakaha. He said that Bhagavatam is Nigama Kalpataror Galitam Phalam. It is the ripened fruit of the tree of Vedic knowledge. So the whole Veda is like a tree. And the purpose of a tree is to give the fruit. We are meant to eat the fruit because the tree may be there, but the purpose of a tree is to present the fruit, and we should eat the fruit. We should not eat the tree. We should not eat the trunks or the branches or the leaves. If you try to eat the branches, then what you will get? You'll only get a toothache. We won't get sweet. If we want to take the sweetness, then we should take shelter of the fruit. The fruit will be sweet. If you're going to take the leaves, then leaves will be bitter. So if you want sweetness to be tasted, then we should go for the fruit of the tree. So similarly, whole Veda is like a tree, And then Bhagavatam is that ripened fruit. Shukamukat Amrita Dravya Samitam. But this Bhagavatam is presented in a very nectarian format. And Vedavyas is saying that Pibata Bhagavata Rasamalayam. You drink this Bhagavatam. Maharaj is saying that how in the first line he is saying that Nigama Kalpataror Galitam Phalam, it's a fruit. But in the third line, Vedavyas is writing that Pibata Bhagavata Rasamalayam. You eat, you drink the rasam. How it is that now he is saying drink, and in the first way it is a fruit. Fruit we don't drink. Fruit we chew and eat. But the juice we drink. So Maharaj, he so nicely said, I think he is also referring to some Shastra. He said that Bhagavatam is a relishable juice. A fruit generally has a skin and also a seed in it. Generally, when we eat a fruit, we have to peel the skin and throw away the seed and eat the fruit. But when we drink something, we don't throw away anything. We will fully take everything. There is nothing to throw, because whatever we drink is just drinking, just fully drinking, nothing to leave. But when we take a fruit, we have to peel the skin, remove the seed. Bhagavatam doesn't have anything like that we have to peel it out and then throw it out. Fully we can take it. So it's like a juice, it should be fully taken. In fact, in the spiritual world, it is said in the Shastra that mangoes, sweet mangoes, they don't have a skin and then they don't have a seed also. And there are no bad portions also. This is material world. We have a skin, then we have some seed also. In fact, major portion nowadays we see, I saw a very big mango in Bangalore. Almost 70% is the seed only. Only little portion we get that sweet. But Bhagavatam is not such a thing. Its whole is full of sweet. So this is Srimad Bhagavatam. So such a wonderful literature. Actually, devotees should taste this literature. Vedavyas is saying, Pibata Bhagavad Rasamalayam. Just taste, drink, why are you not drinking? Actually, I always remember, whenever this Rasamalayam comes, I always link that with Dukkhalayam. Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Dukkhalayam Ashashvatam. This material world is Dukkhalayam. Vedavyas only wrote Mahabharata also. So he knew that Krishna is saying this material world is Dukkhalayam. So for that, here Vedavyas, he is saying, Bhagavata Rasamalayam. Why you are rotting in Dukkhalayam? Come to Bhagavata Rasamalayam and drink it. But we are so foolish that we drink the this nasty juice of sense gratification of material world and give up the real nectar of Bhagavatam, which is very sweet. It's very sweet actually. Whoever reads Bhagavatam, they will know that, oh, such a nectar. Maharaj was saying that Bhagavata Rasamalai. He was saying it's Rasamalai. Anyway, Rasamalai is what we can relate to. But if you actually see the Rasamalayam of Bhagavatam, even if you compare billions and trillions of Rasamalai, still you will not even able to measure a drop of the Rasamalayam of Srimad Bhagavatam. That is Srimad Bhagavatam. So we should naturally, we should be happy to distribute such a literature. Where such wonderful literature is present. We have such a nectarian literature. And it is so nice that even demigods are coming and asking, and Sukadeva Goswami is not giving. Of course, they can take, but still, not even for demigods this is possible to hear. In Bhuvi Bhavakaha, in the earthly planet, that this Bhagavatam was spoken. So it's such a nectarian literature. So we should distribute it. So if we know that such a literature is Srimad Bhagavatam, then we should distribute it. People in the outside world, they are distributing all sorts of nonsense literatures, which is we studied in schools, colleges. We never say that this is Rasamalayam. What to speak of Rasamalayam, not even Rasam, then what to speak of Alayam of Rasa. In fact, we know that all the school textbooks, college textbooks are Dukkha Alayam. Whenever we studied, whenever we take the book, we become into depression. In fact, somebody will say, oh, Prabhu, how you are distributing Bhagavatam said. people, when they say that, when we see the 18 volumes, they are really thinking, oh, so many books. Actually, the conception of frustration for people to buy Bhagavatam because of 18 volumes is not because of Bhagavatam, because of the frustration of reading such literatures in their school and college. So we have to explain to them that you are frustrated because of the literatures that you studied in your school and college. If you are actually taking shelter of Bhagavatam, you will say that Bhagavatam is only 18 volumes. Can you, is there some more volumes also? And we say that yes, Prabhupada has given 2000 hours of Bhagavatam lectures. You hear that, so that whole life you can hear. Actually, Srila Prabhupada in one of the lectures, he says that for one verse of Bhagavatam, we can speak for 30 days or 1 month. And there are 18,000 slokas, you can speak for 18,000 months. So much. And actually, this happened that Srila Prabhupada's Guru Maharaj, our Parampara Acharya, his Devangre Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, he spoke on the first verse of Srimad Bhagavatam for 30 days, and his lecture means it is like 4-5 hours lecture. Prabhupada always gave a short lecture, 30 minutes, 45 minutes. It's a short lecture. We think this is, oh, so long lecture. But Gaudiya Math and Srila Bhakti, they used to give lectures like 4 hours, 5 hours. That is the short lecture for them. And for us, even 1 hour lecture is a very long lecture. So, okay, the point is that Bhagavatam is so nice. We can speak so much unlimitedly on Srimad Bhagavatam. Anyway, now I cannot speak more about Bhagavatam because you read Bhagavatam, then you will come to know how glorious Srimad Bhagavatam is. So this is such a literature that Vedavyas is presenting in a very sweet way, so that he can please his Guru Maharaj Sri Narada Muni. Yasya prasadat Bhagavad prasado. Because Narada Muni was not satisfied. Narada Muni was not satisfied because of the presentation of Vedavyas, because he has given a crow-like literature so far. So let me write Srimad Bhagavatam for swan-like people so that I can please my Guru Maharaj, Sri Narada Muni. So Narada Muni, he was telling Vedavyas, Vedavyas, preach strongly. You are preaching so, anyway, you are here to deliver the conditioned souls. So you preach strongly. This was the message of Narada Muni. You just preach strongly. And because of that condition, Narada Muni's mercy that Vedavyas could present Srimad Bhagavatam. So when we want to present Srimad Bhagavatam to others, so what are the techniques? First, you know something about Srimad Bhagavatam, that I spoke something, but there are so many things which you can hear. And if you read Bhagavatam, you will naturally come to know the glories of Srimad Bhagavatam itself. The first requisition for distributing Srimad Bhagavatam is the desire to distribute Srimad Bhagavatam. It all begins with a desire. First, you should desire. The desire to be really intense desire to distribute Bhagavatam. Only if you have an intense desire to distribute Srimad Bhagavatam, you'll be able to distribute Srimad Bhagavatam. Srila Prabhupada, he writes in the first canto, I think it's the first chapter purport, one of the purports in the first chapter, that if one wants to free himself from birth and death, then he has to first desire to get out of the cycle of birth and death. It's very simple. If you want to become liberated, first desire to become liberated. It's very simple, Prabhupada saying. So if you want to distribute Srimad Bhagavatam, then first desire to distribute Srimad Bhagavatam. It all began with the desire. We desired to enjoy sense gratification, so we came to the material world. Now if you want to serve Krishna, then let us help Krishna's sense gratification, then we become liberated. So when you desire to serve Krishna, then you become liberated. When you desire to forget Krishna, you are caught up in material world. Now if you want to distribute Srimad Bhagavatam, first desire it. There should be intense desire. It all begins with a desire. And that intense desire will gradually take you to the level where you can distribute Srimad Bhagavatam to a very amazing level. But it all begins with intense desire. Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, because we see that we are desiring something, but Krishna has to fulfill that. If you want to become the Prime Minister of India, or if you want to become a very great king, whatever desire we have, we cannot fulfill it by ourselves. Krishna has to fulfill it. In fact, there is a very famous verse which Srila Prabhupada often quotes. Nityo nityanam chetanas chetananam eko bahunam yobdidati kaman. We have so many desires, and Krishna is the one who is fulfilling all our desires. We had so many nonsense desires. We decided to become a cat. Krishna made us a cat. Krishna made us a hog, not that he decided, because we want to eat all sorts of nonsense. So Krishna made us become a hog. We were singing all sense gratificatory songs. So Krishna thought, okay, you become a donkey, you can sing. So like that, because of our desires, Krishna fulfilled those desires. See, all nonsense desires we had, and Krishna was fulfilling. And if you have a pure desire to distribute Srimad Bhagavatam, do you think that Krishna won't help you? In fact, Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Nachattasman manusheshu kashin me priyakrittamaha, that there is nobody as dear to me as a person who is distributing this knowledge. In fact, Krishna says that if you distribute this knowledge of the Bhagavat, then you become very dear to me. Anya priyataro bhuvi, there is nobody as dear to me as one who is distributing this knowledge. So Krishna himself is saying that if you want to become dear to me, distribute this knowledge, distribute this literature. Then this is Krishna's desire. You had nonsense desire, and Krishna is unwillingly fulfilling that. But Krishna is willingly saying that this is what I like, I want you to do. And if you are desiring that, then why won't Krishna give? Krishna will be very happy to you, grant you. You just desire, distribute, then Krishna will arrange. That's what happened with me and with all other devotees. Any book distributor will say that this is the beginning, that first we should desire. For anything, desire is the basic thing. Now, generally, the first opposition that any devotee will ask for distributing Bhagavatam set is that how I can convince a person to take Srimad Bhagavatam, because this is really very costly, very bulky. It is 8,000 rupees or 9,000 rupees, and it's 18 volumes. Actually, first you should be convinced. We should be convinced. We should be convinced that 8,000 is a very small value. We should be convinced that 18 volumes is not at all so many volumes. Considering the dozens and dozens of volumes every year we studied in our school and the reference books, this 18 volume is nothing that they are going to take in their life. So we should be convinced. First, we should be convinced. If we are not convinced, how we can convince them? If we think that 8,000 is a big amount, then how we will distribute Srimad Bhagavatam? In fact, sometimes devotees are even not at all confident to even give Bhagavad Gita, which is only 300 rupees. When somebody is approached taking Bhagavad Gita, then when we say Bhagavad Gita and seeing their face, we keep Bhagavad Gita, we give a small book. This is just 30 rupees. Even they are asking what is the price. We are reluctant to give Bhagavad Gita. We are reluctant to give, think that this person, how he will pay 300. But you just go and see the outside world. You go to a mobile shop. Is he reluctant to say the cost of the mobile? He'll say 18,000, 20,000, 25,000. Even you may go to the shop and say that, is there any cheap mobile available? You may think that, is there any 5,000 rupees mobile, small thing, small smartphone, so that I can take. But he will say, no, here is a very nice smartphone, 18,000. We are saying that, oh, Bhagavatam is very big, let me come to a small book. But outside people, even when customers are asking for a small thing, they are trying to give in a big thing. The highest price mobile phone they will give. They say that this is the best quality mobile phone. It means he's having the more profit in it. That's his best quality, because for him more profit is there in a big phone. So because he is very confident. He is very confident in cheating. We should be confident in saving people at least. We are not cheating people. We are trying to save them. But if he is confidentially cheating us, why not we, with full confidence, save people by giving Bhagavatam? And anyway, he is giving something nonsense for them. Even a person who wants to sell a TV, He is confidentially quoting the price. This is 30,000. If you want, you buy. He is not much bargaining at all. He is kept his price very clear, and he is not thinking that, oh, who will buy? The manufacturers, they are never thinking that, oh, 30,000. Otherwise, how Benz car and all is getting sold? Because it is some 50 lakhs, 1 crore. They don't think that, oh, this is a huge money, my car won't be sold. No, they will have their own customers. And mobile phones are now produced in huge quantity that they don't see that who are the customers. At least when Benz cars or even a car is produced, they will at least tend to a person who is really very highly sophisticated, middle class, like that. But the smartphone, which is 15,000, 20,000, nobody will think that I'm restricting my mobile phone to only this section of people, not for the poor section. They know that everybody is buying. Even the poorer person will spend some 10,000 rupees for a smartphone. I was just telling yesterday in class that um, Bhagavatam is just 8,000 or 9,000 rupees. Even the cheapest mobile, it should be some 10,000, something like that. So Bhagavatam is cheaper than the cheapest mobile. So what difficulty we have for giving Bhagavatam? We should only desire, and we should intensely desire to give Srimad Bhagavatam. But if you see the value of Srimad Bhagavatam, this is completely unimaginable price. I often tell to my persons who are taking Srimad Bhagavatam that, sir, we are asking you only the print price. The print cost of Bhagavatam we are asking. Just Maharaj was so nicely speaking today morning. Just 8,000 rupees, 9,000 rupees. This is only the print price of Srimad Bhagavatam. I am not asking for the royalty. Outsiders, if you go and see how much they are presenting their book cost, our first canto Bhagavatam, it will be like 1,200 rupees for them, outside world. Say they will print that book in some 300 to 400 rupees only. But there is something called royalty. I don't know whether you have heard about royalty, because this is his patented. My imagination, I speculated something and I have presented. So this is some extra cost added. So 400 plus his royalty, and then the profit of the in what we can say, the supplier or the dealer or the salesman. If this finally it will be more than 1,000 rupees. But we are asking only the print price, so that we can print further and distribute. If somebody is saying that I can pay royalty also for Bhagavatam, then we say that you bring all the wealth of the whole world, still you won't match the royalty of even a space in Srimad Bhagavatam book. Even if you distribute Bhagavatam set to the richest man, Bill Gates, I don't know who is the richest man now. Bekos. Just okay, Amazon owner. Okay, Amazon owner. We want to distribute Bhagavatam to him. He is paying 8,000, and he is saying that no, I will pay royalty. I am the richest man in the world. What is the royalty he can give? We will say to him that even if trillions of Jeff Bezos comes with their all wealth, they will never match the value of Srimad Bhagavatam. You can only give the print cost. That's it. For the knowledge, no value. Nothing can be valued. This is such a wealth that nobody can make a price for that. So such a Srimad Bhagavatam. We are having such a valuable thing with us. All these mobile phones, gadgets, it's anyway going to kill his life, spoil his life, murder his soul, Atmaha. But Bhagavatam is actually delivering. It is in fact, this is actually making him blossom. This is so nectarian that one becomes completely in a very, very blissful platform. This is Srimad Bhagavatam. So we should be very confident in presenting what we are. Actually, we are having the best product to be marketed in the world. Why should we feel shy in marketing this? We are having the best product in the all of existence, not only in the material world, not only now, for all times, all places. This is the best literature. Srimad Bhagavatam is the best of all literatures. The 13th chapter on the 12th canto of Bhagavatam just speaks of the glories of Srimad Bhagavatam. That all other literatures or religious literature, even if you say, it will only shine when there is absence of Srimad Bhagavatam. If Bhagavatam comes, all the other literatures will become like a what is it called? Worm, glowworm. That's it. All other literatures, even our own Vedic literatures, Karma Kanda, Jnana Kanda also, it will become like a glowworm when Bhagavatam comes. This is like a arka. Bhagavatam is arka. This glowworms will have some light when there is no light. Even in darkness, glowworm is having some light, and with that glowworm's light, you can only identify the glowworm. There is no light actually. But you can know that, okay, there is a glowworm in it, but you can't study anything with that glowworm. We cannot use that as a torch also. We can see glowworm and know that, okay, there is a glowworm. That's it. That is the glow that it can give. But Bhagavatam means it is like a Surya, complete light. So it will reveal everything. It will reveal itself. It will reveal us the reality, material knowledge, spiritual knowledge. Everything actually will find in Srimad Bhagavatam. Complete, so full. So that is Srimad Bhagavatam. So when we have the best product, we should be very confident that what we are representing. There are certain techniques that generally we apply, but there are unlimited techniques. Not that this technique is the standard, this will work. We don't know how Bhagavatam goes, because Bhagavatam is Krishna himself. Bhagavatam means Krishna. Krishna is Swarat. He is completely independent. So Bhagavatam is also independent. You may have your own technique, but only if Bhagavatam wants to go to that person's house, it will go. So not our technique is important. If Krishna wants to go, he will go to his house. But Krishna will also go to the person's house if a devotee is desiring to give him to that house. Because Krishna is Bhakta Vatsala. If the devotee is desiring that, Krishna, you please go to the house. I'll speak to that person, try to convince him, you please go to that house, then Krishna is ready to go. Just as um, Garuda is taking the Lord Vishnu, Lord Narayan on his back and taking everywhere, like that we can hold Bhagavatam in our hand, be a representative of Garuda and take to many persons' house. We cannot hold Krishna deity, but we can hold Srimad Bhagavatam, which is not different from Krishna. Just yesterday I was just telling in one of the devotee lecture that actually there are so many rules and regulations to worship the deity of Krishna. There is a niyama, time also there when you can worship, or there is also person who can worship and touch the deity, and then there is also time, place. Not that it's a deity, not that here and there you can take the deity as you wish anytime. So there is restrictions for the deity, and it has to be done in a very pure way also. Say the deity is worshipped by a Brahmana can touch the deity. But Bhagavatam is more merciful than the Krishna deity. Actually, Krishna deity is not different from Bhagavatam. But still, when the Krishna deity comes in the form of Srimad Bhagavatam, it is so merciful that even the untouchables can now touch Bhagavatam. Even the meat eaters, they are also touching the holy Srimad Bhagavatam in their hand, and they are giving up their meat eating propensity. So this is Srimad Bhagavatam, that it is so merciful. Bhagavatam itself is so merciful. You don't have to worry. You only desire to give Srimad Bhagavatam, you'll be able to give Srimad Bhagavatam. And there are certain ways we say that how we can distribute Bhagavatam sets. Actually, now in this particular lecture, I'm not mostly concerned about brahmacharis who can go house to house and distribute, but particularly I'm interested in speaking to the Grahastha devotees or the Matajis who can so easily distribute Bhagavatam set right by sitting in their house. The standard technique that we always do is that go out in the street and distribute Bhagavad Gitas or Bhagavatam in the street. Bhagavatam can also be distributed on the streets. There are so many examples that on street we'll be able to distribute Srimad Bhagavatam. And right now we are seeing that the devotees of Atlanta, particularly Mahotsav Prabhu, he is distributing 20 sets a day, 45, 48 sets a day, 48 sets of Bhagavatam to people who have never heard about Krishna or Bhagavatam in their life. Cold contacts, he is able to distribute. And definitely he is not preaching to them the glories of Srimad Bhagavatam, because he is distributing Bhagavatam in a matter of 3 minutes. In a time, maybe even not even that, maybe 2 minutes also. So we do not know how Bhagavatam goes. You may know the glories of Bhagavatam, but certain devotees can give without even speaking of the glories. It means the devotee will be empowered also, or if Krishna is desiring to go, he will go. There are so many different ways to distribute Srimad Bhagavatam. But as we are in India, because people, they tend to hear, they can also hear. It's not that just by hearing they will take also, but at least let us attempt to speak about the glories of Srimad Bhagavatam. And we also get a chance to speak about Bhagavatam. So we can do that. So I am particularly restricting this talk because how everyone can distribute Srimad Bhagavatam, and mostly everyone means devotees are all grihasthas. We have a very less number of brahmacharis in our ISKCON society, and all these ISKCON brahmacharis are anyway, they are doing their service of book distribution also in some part of our life. But grihasthas, they have a wonderful opportunity. I can clearly say that if grihasthas are really working hard to distribute Bhagavatam sets, they can outweigh the brahmacharis distributing books. There is so much scope for the grihasthas to do successful Bhagavatam set distribution. So how one can do Bhagavatam set distribution? Just by sitting in their house. The standard technique that that we followed in our book distribution, that we encouraged the grihastha devotees to call their own contacts. That's very simple. That we have so many contacts. We have so many just this smartphone. Just by this using this smartphone, you'll be able to give so many sets of Srimad Bhagavatam. I remember when I first attempted to distribute Bhagavatam sets to my contacts, almost in a matter of some 15 days, I could distribute some 75 sets of Bhagavatam and Chaitanya Charitamrita. And all these things happen just by sitting and doing. I just simply took my mobile phone and I was just simply seeing, okay, whom I can give, whom I can. Actually, this thing came because of the COVID. The COVID was there, book distribution became very difficult. I think even Mahotsav Prabhu, he was also distributing Bhagavatam sets by sitting. I think he distributed some 250 sets in a matter of 1 month. So it just because the contacts whom we have in our mobile phone are known to us, probably they'll be able to accept our proposal to take. Because whenever we call our mobile contacts, they will be able to immediately remember Krishna. So they have that Sukruti. We have given them the Sukruti to remember Krishna just because our number is stored in their mobile. So just because they know us, they'll be able to easily relate to us and spend time for us. And we can speak. You can speak about Bhagavatam. In one way, you are also preaching. The one way that you are able to push on Bhagavatam set also. And when somebody takes Srimad Bhagavatam sets, we know his life is changed. I have so many examples of how we distributed and how I distributed. I can give some 2-3 examples, but I'm just saying that just by using all your mobile contacts, you can distribute so many Bhagavatam sets. And the way that I did was calling my friends and relatives. It became so easy for me that because they can easily relate to me. I remember my sisters, they were really against Krishna consciousness when I was practicing that. In fact, they were so much chastising me, scolding me, rebuking me that why you are wasting your time, why you are not hearing your parents, and why you have become brahmachari, you just come out of temple, get married. Like that, they spoke so many things. But seeing that I am very stubborn, they just left us. I gave only one set of Srimad Bhagavatam when I left my house to join full time, and my mother was reading it, but still my sisters, they were all against. But over a passage of time, they'll always regularly call me, okay, how are you? What are you doing in the temple? Did you take prasadam? Because of contacting me regularly, and I was always asking them about, you also take it like that. Then at one point of time, when I called them and then I said that, see, you please take Bhagavatam and Chaitanya Charitamrita from us. It is just 11,000. It is just nothing for you. Both Bhagavatam and Chaitanya Charitamrita, just 11,000. Then immediately my sister agreed to take. She did not question. Just because I am her brother, she took it. Just because I am her brother, she took it. I was also surprised. Oh, I never thought that she will take it. She will say that anyway you gave to mother, no. Why you should give me like that? She was asking, I was thinking. But anyway, I thought of saying that anyway, mother is in her house and you are in your husband's house, so you should take it. But before I could say anything, she immediately took it. Then, uh, fortunately, I had three sisters. So when I called the second sister, I told that the first sister has taken Bhagavatam. Oh, she has taken. Okay, then I'll also take. Very easy for me. There was a competition between them, and when she took, oh, she is having, then I should also possess. So I'm just, then I had another sister, third sister, and I told, see, all the other sisters have taken. Oh, everybody is taken. Then how I can also not take? I'll also take. You send me immediately first. So just because they are my sisters, on my word, they took Bhagavatam. I was just thinking that maybe even Matajis can defeat Prabhujis in distributing of Bhagavatam sets. Because that's what I was just seeing. Because many Matajis could do more than. Because it's very easy for them because they already know. The one thing is that we have to first endeavor. We should not think that, oh, they may not take, they may not take. They know us. So there are more possibility that they may take. Or at some point, I'd say, my sister, they did not take at all. But because of my Krishna consciousness, because of they were always thinking of Krishna whenever they speak with me, they got some Sukruti. It's all Sukruti by Srila Prabhupada's mercy only. I did not do anything. It's all because of Srila Prabhupada's mercy. But because of this contact, I could easily give Bhagavatam set to them. So this is one thing that we followed. So you can also call your friends and my friends also. One friend, as I said, in matter of 7 years, he took Bhagavatam, and to one of my friend, just the first time I spoke, he took Bhagavatam. Just because he's my friend, I told him that, see, why this is such a literature. You are from India. This Bharata is is known for the glories of these Vedic literatures. So why don't you take it? Then immediately he took it. So this is possible, but we should endeavor. We should endeavor to do. If you are not endeavoring, then definitely we are not going to achieve success. We should endeavor. The only thing is that we should be convinced and we should take it in our hand. And we know the famous verse that Srila Prabhupada often quoted for preaching, that Yare Deko Tare Kaho Krishna Upadesh. So I always think that for us, Yare Deko Tare Kaho are the contacts from the mobile mostly. Because we are always contacting them only. Yare Deko, whom we are seeing, all these contacts from the mobiles. Yare Deko Tare Kaho Krishna Upadesh. So I am just thinking that this is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's order that we have to distribute by calling all our contacts from our mobile. Because this is Yare Deko Tare Kaho Krishna Upadesh. You call them and speak about Krishna. You don't have to go to the streets to speak about Krishna. Just call your, now because of the advancement of technology and cheaper prices, calling anyone is zero rupees. When I was doing my college, calling one person will, for 1 minute, will be charged 3 rupees. Now we can speak unlimitedly, unlimited calls to unlimited person with 0 rupees only. Maybe monthly 200 rupees you have to be charged. That's it. So you can call anybody. This is our Yare Deko Tare Kaho. Call your contact. This is Yare Deko Tare Kaho. What you should do? Krishna Upadesh. Krishna Upadesh means Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavatam. Both are Upadesh of Krishna and Upadesh by Krishna. So this is Krishna Upadesh. And I was thinking that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is ordering that Amara Anyaya Guru Haya Tara e Desh. On my order, you should deliver your Desh. And I am thinking that your desh is your mobile. You just deliver all the contacts from your mobile by giving them Bhagavatam set. This is Yare Deko Tare Kaho Krishnopadesh. Amara Angaya Guru Haya Tara Ye Desh. If you keep on calling, at least on one point of time, they will be able to buy Srimad Bhagavatam set. So don't think that this is not a possibility. This is actually a very easy possibility that we can do it. And I have a few anecdotes which I want to share, which you may get enthusiasm or encouragement to do it. And one anecdote is a contact whom I have not seen at all, because doing this set distribution for 3 years, practically I exhausted all my mobile contacts in the first 2 years itself. Third year I did not have any contact. So though my team members, they had their contacts and they were distributing, I also should do something. So what we do is that whatever contact numbers we had in our temple's entry book, we took all the numbers who were all coming. Like, you will have this WhatsApp group in your temple. Whoever is coming, they'll just scan it and they'll become a member in the temple, and then you will be sending them regular updates. So all these numbers we took, and we started calling. So I somehow called this particular Mataji, and she has not seen me. I have not seen her. She has come to the temple only once, more recently, and somehow I have the number. I just called her. I called her and then said that, Mataji, see, this is a very auspicious occasion. This is the month when Bhagavad Gita was spoken, because there was a December month. When it is Bhadra Purnima, we say that the month that Bhagavatam was spoken. For every month, we have some reason to say. When we say Chaturmasya month, we say this is one of the Chaturmasya months. So 4 months we can fill. And then any month. So this is that month, very auspicious month. This is Shravana month, very auspicious month. This is Ekadasi, very auspicious day. This Ekadasi comes only once in a year. You should take Bhagavatam on this day. When they don't take, then they'll say that, oh no, next time I will take. Then the next day Ekadasi we will call. We say, this is a very auspicious Ekadasi. This Ekadasi will come only once in a month. Sorry, once in a year. So you should take this. So any day is a day for us to distribute Bhagavatam set. That is the point I'm making. So when I call this particular Mataji that we have a literature called Srimad Bhagavatam, which speaks about the glories of Krishna. And it is very beautiful that nobody will stop this literature. And we are giving that literature in a discounted price. This is the price. Why don't you take it? Like that. Then she was saying that actually she didn't tell me anything that time. She immediately agreed. Yes, whatever you are saying, I'll just take it. He was only asking, see, I am coming from a poor background. Will you give it in installments in 3 months? I said, okay, we'll give. But she finished the installment in 2 months itself. After 6 months, she told me that how she got Bhagavatam from me. She told me that, okay, no, I'll finish one more thing, then I will come to this. Then seeing that immediately she is taking Bhagavatam, I was thinking, see, for me, whoever takes Bhagavatam, she is a distributor of Srimad Bhagavatam. So she took Bhagavatam, immediately asked her, see, this is such a wonderful literature. Why don't you distribute to one of your friends, relatives? Then she spoke to one of her known friend, and then she came back to me in few hours and said that my friend has also agreed to take Srimad Bhagavatam. She has not bought Bhagavatam. She did not even get Bhagavatam in her house. She did not even still receive Bhagavatam. But before receiving Bhagavatam, she has distributed Bhagavatam. Just see. So these two persons, they took Bhagavatam the next day from me, from the temple. Then after 6 months, she told me, maybe just 2 months before, she told me that, Prabhu, you know how I got Bhagavatam from you? I said, I just called you and you immediately agreed. Then she said, actually, just 10 minutes before your call came, just 10 minutes before your call came, I just spoke with my friend saying that we got Bhagavad Gita, but this Bhagavad Gita, it is written that Srimad Bhagavatam, but Bhagavatam is huge volume which I saw in the temple. So how we will be able to get? They won't give installment. So she already had in her mind that she should take Bhagavatam, but because she's from a poor family, she thought I will never be able to get Bhagavatam, which is very costly, 7,000 or 8,000 rupees. But when I called and then said that this installment is available, then she immediately took it. Then she told her friend also, then they also took it. They became very serious devotees of Krishna that um, just 2 months before, no, not 2 months, just 3 weeks before, I told them that you should now distribute Bhagavatam really seriously. In a matter of 4 days, that Madi distributed 12 sets of Srimad Bhagavatam. 12 sets of Srimad in the matter of 4 days. She called all her contacts and then she pushed. She knew that, and she's reading her third canto of Bhagavatam. She's also reading seriously, she's reading, she's chanting 16 rounds. I never preached to her. I just gave her Bhagavatam. That was my preaching. My preaching was to give her Bhagavatam. And Bhagavatam, Prabhupada was preaching to her. And I will only thing I will ask, maybe monthly once I used to ask her, which chapter you are reading. This it, that's it. Just by this much, she became so serious that she, in fact, these two Matadis, they gave 6 lakhs worth gold to the previous temple where I was just serving. They just gave whatever they have to Krishna. I didn't even ask them money. They sold their gold and gave to Krishna because they read Bhagavatam. Bhagavatam was preaching, Prabhupada was preaching to them. We didn't preach. So like that, we have so many wonderful examples. And one other example I can say is my own cousin sister. We don't speak to our cousin sister and all. I just forgot her for many years. And suddenly, because I was distributing, so I thought, okay, I distributed 77 sets. Maybe in another 3 days, I should somehow distribute 30 more sets so that 18 days, 108 I'll do. 108 sets of Bhagavatam Chaitanya Charitamrita. I was just thinking, no, I should do. There was a wonderful devotee who was pushing me that you should do 108 in 18 days. On 3 days, 33 sets. So I was thinking, where I will go for 33 sets. Only thing is that I can only sit and do. So I was always scrolling, whom I can call. In the second year, I did not see whom I can call. The second year, I only thought who is not having Bhagavatam, I should call. That's it. Not that I can call, will he buy, nothing like that. If you think that will this person buy, then that's not right. So you can only see that whether he is having Bhagavatam or not. If he's not having Bhagavatam, then he is a fit candidate to be called for. Call and give. So now this time when I called my cousin sister after a couple of years, she was surprised. Then she asked me, what's it? Why you have called me? I said, we have a literature called Srimad Bhagavatam. Why don't you take it? This much only I said. Then she said, I heard recently when I'm attending some bogus gurus Apasampradaya class, they spoke about some Bhagavatam, which I thought that I will not buy Bhagavatam unless somebody is asking me Bhagavatam. And she never went to any ISKCON temple. And she is not associating with the devotees at all. But in a place where she was living, there was one ISKCON temple, but then she never went there also. And because of family situation, being a woman, she can't go. And I just asked her, Srimad Bhagavatam is available, will you take it? And she was telling it is a big surprise for me because just I was thinking that if Bhagavatam comes on its own account to me, I will buy Bhagavatam. But I am not going to ask where is Bhagavatam. In fact, she doesn't even know that there is something called Bhagavatam in ISKCON also. She knew nothing. She knew that there is literature called Srimad Bhagavatam. And she never knew that ISKCON is giving Bhagavatam also. And she was very surprised that I am calling her. Then immediately she agreed to take Bhagavatam. Then because of this new technology, this UPI ID, with that and all, she sent me the amount. 2 years back, when I started my Bhagavatam distribution, I gave Bhagavatam set to her. And I don't preach to her. 2 months afterwards, she called me saying that I'm in the second canto. I have little confusion in this. I said, 2 months she's in the second canto. Then whatever I understood, I just explained as it is from Srila Prabhupada's purport. Then after some 4 months, I went to her house, seeing that she's really eager in reading Bhagavatam. She was very cordial to invite us. Then she was asking me, will you take prasadam? Will you take food cooked by me? I said, I will take only prasadam, and I will take only prasadam from a person who is chanting 16 rounds of Mahamantra, following the regulative principles, and offering the cooked food to Krishna. And she was saying, for the last 3 months, I'm doing that only. I never preached to her. Just by reading Srimad Bhagavatam, she became a serious devotee, and she never went to ISKCON also. Just Srila Prabhupada's books was just preaching to her, and when something about this chanting, then she went to the internet, and whatever little details she took, then she took Japamala by ordering, and then she was just chanting, and she was offering food, because how to offer also she found somewhere, and she was reading. Now 2 years passed, she has finished whole set of Bhagavatam. Second year, she immediately asked me Chaitanya Charitamrita. She now has finished Chaitanya Charitamrita also. Now she is in her third canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, second time. And she is very strict, and no association of devotees, and no going to any ISKCON temple. Actually, she did something which is really astonishing to me, because sometimes devotees ask us, see Prabhu, you were distributing Bhagavatam sets, but somebody should follow up. Prabhupada will follow up. That's the best to follow up. We can only say that, are you reading Bhagavatam? This is our preaching. This should be our follow up. Are you reading Bhagavatam? If this is the follow up, definitely all success. But even if you don't do that, no problem, because Bhagavatam has entered, Srila Prabhupada will preach. And we have heard so many unlimited stories like that. And my sister, I'm saying my sister, because I'm very happy that I have such a sister, because she was so surrendered that she gave all her gold to Krishna. It's because we were building a temple in Salem, and I was there. I was just collecting for funds for the temple, and I did not ask her anything. She gave all her gold. All her gold means not 50,000 or 1 lakh or 2 lakh, 15 lakhs gold. She said that it's there in Bhagavatam that Kali Purusha resides where gold is. So I don't want to keep Kali Purusha in my house. You please take it for Krishna's service. And she pushed her, this she gave without husband's knowledge. I don't know. I'm revealing so many confidential things because she gave without husband's knowledge. And but with husband's permission, she pushed her to give 15 more lakhs. And totally her whole family gave 30 lakhs. Her husband should be really fortunate, because he is having such a wife as her associate. This all because of Srila Prabhupada's preaching Bhagavatam. So don't take these books to be ordinary. It's a really powerful books. It's really, we all became devotees of Krishna because of Srila Prabhupada's book reading. It has all potency. Just Srimad Bhagavatam will do the needful. Actually, if we really have this mood of giving Bhagavatam, we will see that whole temple is flooded with devotees. I remember the last marathon in Salem when I was doing, I was involving so many grahasthas in our team. And the mood in that time, in the month of December marathon, was always Bhagavatam, Bhagavatam, Bhagavatam. Whomever coming to our temple, we will ask them Bhagavatam, Bhagavatam, Bhagavatam. It was so intense that nobody was left without Bhagavatam that time. Whoever comes to a temple, they'll be just pushed with Bhagavatam sets. That's why we distributed some 670 sets of Bhagavatam in Salem. Salem is a small town. It's like not even 1/10 of Bangalore. It's very, very small place. And it's not even some rich place or an industrial place, nothing like that. But still, we could distribute so many sets. We never left anybody. And our devotees were also calling so many, all their relatives they were calling. One more instance I can say, because one couple, the Grahasthas, they were involved in distributing Bhagavatam sets so intensely that we will load so many Bhagavatam sets and keep in their house. And they will take Bhagavatam from their house and they will go and distribute to their friends, relatives, wherever. So constantly somebody will come and download a books, and others they will take and distribute books of books. So many books they were distributing. The one couple, they distributed 100 plus Bhagavatam sets, and I think 150 Bhagavatam sets and 110 Chaitanya Charitamrita sets. Just one couple alone. So there were so much of loading, unloading happening that the servant maid in their house, she was shocked. Amma, what are you doing here? I am every day seeing so many books coming, so many books, boxes are going. What is it? Then this Mataji, she explained that what we are doing. She explained Bhagavatam and told that this is what we are giving. And she politely asked, why don't you also take Bhagavatam? She is a servant maid. And she pushed her. And then finally that servant maid was happy to take Bhagavatam. Okay, give me also and I'll also take. Just that I want to give it in installment. That's it. Okay, anyway, take some 3 installment. No problem. A servant maid took Bhagavatam. And we have so many interesting examples that there was another devotee in Mumbai. She became inspired because of her book distribution, and she gave Bhagavatam set to a vegetable vendor who came to her apartment. Vegetable vendor. And there are so many examples which I can say. Keep on, I can saying. Because of this intense marathon we had last time, a devotee, she's a Mataji. She's working as a nurse. And then she thought that I should give Bhagavatam set. She already gave all Bhagavatam sets to many of her doctors, nurse friends. But she was thinking, I should give Bhagavatam set. She had an intense desire that I should give Bhagavatam set today. She didn't know whom I am going to give. No contact. But she was deciding I should give. So what she thought, okay, let me take Bhagavatam today and I'll give somehow any patient or whoever is coming, let me give. So she took Bhagavatam set in her two-wheeler. She kept Bhagavatam set. She is a woman. How Bhagavatam is a little bit bigger. Somehow with her devotees' help, she put the box in her two-wheeler. And when she came to the hospital, it's a government hospital. Somehow she parked, and then she had difficulty in taking the set to where she has to go. Somehow a passerby came by, and she called that man and said that, oh sir, can you please help me in taking this box of book and keeping in my cabin? He said, okay. Then this person, this man, he took the set and came to her cabin and then kept the set. And then this Madhi started speaking to him. See, this is such a literature, Bhagavatam, that you have carried in your hand. Why don't you take it? You just see. Or then she spoke for a few minutes, and then that person got convinced, and that person took Bhagavatam set to his house. So because of that intense desire, she could distribute it. So we should actually distribute. That's the thing. We should only think that how we can distribute. And if every devotee is starting to give to their contacts, then naturally the festival mood will happen in the temple. Every devotee is always thinking of, I gave to my friend, I gave to my relative, oh, I gave to my forgotten friend. Oh, I remember I gave one set to my forgotten friend. After 18 years, I called her. Then she was, oh, what a surprise. You are just calling me after 18 years. I said, I just want to know how you are, what are you doing? Then I said, have you heard about Bhagavatam? And then, yeah, I know something. It's about Krishna, all incarnation. Yes. Then she was saying, I was having Bhagavatam. I'm having Bhagavatam. I said, really, you're having Bhagavatam? Yes, all the 18,000 verses. But 18,000 verses we won't understand. You should have the real Bhagavatam. Then I started speaking, and she was like, no, I don't want it. No, actually, she was speaking so many things. I started speaking in such a way that she was telling, so what do you want? Why did you call for? I said, I wanted to just give you Bhagavatam. That's why I called. So this is the reason you call. Yes. Okay. Anyway, you are calling after a long time. Let me take it. She took it. So even a forgotten friend, we could give. Maybe sometimes you can give to our enemy also. Whom you thought your enemy, you just call and give. So friends, enemies, relatives, neighbors, there are so many people around us. These are all Yare Deko Tare Kaho Krishnopadesh. We have to give. So we should do. If we have that interesting mood of giving Bhagavatam and discussing that, see, we devotees are every week coming and then having a discussion that what we did last week. And if every devotee is discussing this point, then because of the sensation created, every devotee will start doing. Oh, okay, that devotee did. Let me also do. Let me also do. So because of that festive atmosphere of distributing Bhagavatam sets, we can actually create this revolution of distributing Bhagavatam sets. So we should do it. We should endeavor to do it. And sometimes devotees are asking me that, Prabhu, how we can convince others? But I'm just thinking that whether we are giving Bhagavatam set to you, the person or not, definitely somebody is going to give Bhagavatam set to them, because this is a prediction of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu that Prithivite Achinagradigram Sarvatra Prachar Hoibe Mora Nam. That the glories of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Krishna, will be broadcast to every town and village. Everybody will receive the mercy. There is one beautiful verse in Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, which I want to particularly say, that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was distributing the fruits of love of God to whomever he was meeting. He considered himself a gardener, and then he was personally handing over the fruits of love of God to so many people. In fact, it is mentioned that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was inviting many people to come and take, and then take and go and distribute. And in one verse, it is said that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu wanted all the persons in the universe to come and take and distribute. He wanted everybody to take, relish it, and distribute it. So in that particular chapter, we always see that fruit of love of God, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was distributing. He did not see what qualification you have, what disqualification you have. To everybody, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was distributing. So one may ask, what is that fruit of love of God that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was distributing? Maharaj was saying today, and we see in Srimad Bhagavatam, Nigama Kalpataror Galitam Phalam. Srimad Bhagavatam is that fruit. Srimad Bhagavatam is the fruit that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu wanted to distribute to everybody. And there is a verse in, I do not know, Prabhupada often used to quote, Aradhya Bhagavan Vajesha Tanayas Taddama Vrindavanam Ramya Kach Prajavato Vadu Vargena Va Kalpita. Srimad Bhagavatam Puranam Pramanam Api Prema Pumarto Mahan Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhum Matam Itam Tatam. That, so the verse says that Krishna is the supremely worshipable personality of Godhead. He is son of Nanda Maharaj. And his Dhama, Vrindavan, is also equally worshipable. And the best of devotees are the gopis. And the literature, the highest Praman, Amalam Puran, the spotless literature is Srimad Bhagavatam. This is the religion of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Prema Pumarto Mahan, which is delivered by Srimad Bhagavatam. So this is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's religion. Srila Prabhupada writes in the preface to Srimad Bhagavatam that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu traveled the whole land of Bharata to distribute the message of Srimad Bhagavatam. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's desire is that everybody should receive the fruit of love of God, which is Srimad Bhagavatam. If we are not going to do it, definitely somebody is going to do it. Are we going to or not? We are asking who will take it, who will take it. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is saying that everybody will anyway take it. We have to give it now. Let's give it. Let's seriously endeavor to do it. We should have full faith. Actually, Srila Prabhupada, he was success in his preaching because he was having full faith in his Guru Maharaj and holy names. Prabhupada had full faith that the Hare Krishna movement will spread all around the world. So he had full faith in the instructions of his Guru Maharaj. So he went and then he did it. So we should also have that full faith. Srila Prabhupada has given us everything. We have to simply go and distribute it. That is our austerity. Srila Prabhupada has took the austerity of writing these books. Let us take the austerity of giving these books. So let's distribute these books. And I can give you a very, very simple technique. This is not at all difficult at all. It's so easily possible. And everybody, at least in India, will be able to do it. because 8,000 rupees is not a big amount, as I said. If you think that this person is not all agreeing for whatever I say about Bhagavatam, but still you can ask or you can request this person saying that ISKCON is a very beautiful organization spreading the message of Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavatam. Every week, every ISKCON temple is giving uh, hundreds of plates of prasadam to the visitors of the temple. We have a Sunday feast program. Some 400, 500 persons come every week, and everybody is given free prasadam. We have everyday Bhagavad Gita class, Bhagavatam class, all free classes. We are doing so many free classes, free prasadam. And why don't you do a small donation of some 7,000 rupees or 8,000 rupees, and for which we'll give Bhagavatam as a gift? What difficulty we have? Any difficulty? Any sane person will disagree. Okay, anyway, you're doing such a big activity. Some 7,000 I'll give us. In fact, we have one good opportunity, especially I'm just speaking to the ICC devotees, ICC ISKCON Cultural Center, South Bangalore devotees, that they are building a beautiful temple here. So we can simply request them that we are building a beautiful temple. Why don't you give us a small donation for this temple? In India, people will be happy to give some charity, some 8,000 rupees or 7,000 rupees or 9,000 rupees, for which they are getting Bhagavatam set also. If you ask for donation, they may think, oh, anyway, I'm not getting anything. How I can give? But we say that you give donation, we are giving Bhagavatam set as a gift to you. It's very easy. What difficulty we have? We can explain, then we can explain. See, this is such a literature that this is the content of the literature. You please take this. Anyway, Srila Prabhupada, he started life membership program in India because in India, people will be inclined to give charity to temple, and Prabhupada made sure that all the life members got his books. So we want to give this literature to people. Let that be whatever method it may be. So you can just take the technique and then you can give this book to people. There are so many ways. Definitely there will be other programs also. The glories of Bhagavatam we can discuss further, and some other techniques also we can discuss. And let's do it. Let's do something for the pleasure of our Guru Parampara. See, distributing Srimad Bhagavatam set means you are going to get tons of mercy of the Guru Parampara. If you want the mercy of Guru Parampara on you, it is ready to be flooded on you. The only thing is that you have to be ready to be flooded by the mercy of the Guru Parampara. You can do that. If you want, you can do that. At least we should always, Prabhupada, he always used to say that we should fight like Arjun. Arjuna was fighting. He was not just endeavoring. He was really fighting, and he was giving his blood for Krishna. We should at least give this much effort of distributing these Bhagavatam sets. We cannot give our blood in the way that Arjuna gave, but at least we can spend our blood by endeavoring to distribute Bhagavatam sets. So let us do that. This is a very important activity that we have to do. Otherwise, why we are existing in the moment? We should not exist in the moment. We should just serve the moment. I always used to say we should not enjoy the moment. We should serve the moment. We should serve Srila Prabhupada. We should not enjoy the things that Srila Prabhupada has given us. Let us serve Srila Prabhupada. This is a wonderful thing that we are distributing Bhagavatam sets. So let us serve Srila Prabhupada by distributing Srimad Bhagavatam sets. There are other ways also, so many things also we can discuss. But I'm just stopping here. Just one technique which Srila Prabhupada said that this is a real technique that everybody should do, which I want to say, because Srila Prabhupada, he personally spoke this. This was a conversation with Tripurari Maharaj. Tripurari Maharaj is a incarnation of book distribution, Srila Prabhupada said. So it's a conversation with him in the year 1975, March 2nd, in Atlanta. So this is Tripurari Maharaj speaking with Srila Prabhupada. Tripurari Maharaj is speaking. Sometimes when we go to the temples, they ask us to give class, Sankirtana class on book distribution techniques. The many devotees are asking me about the techniques. So those times Tripurari Maharaj was asked that, can you just give the techniques? Maharaj is saying, we tell them that before you can take any techniques, first you must follow the principles and study the books. We have to follow the principles. We have 4 regulative principles. We should follow and we should chant and we should read Srila Prabhupada books. Srila Prabhupada, he answers, yes, that is real technique. Our only technique is to be very devout followers of the rules and regulations. So we should follow the principles. Actually, I request the devotees that we should follow sincerely the instructions given by our spiritual master. These instructions give us so much energy, so much potency for us to distribute. This technique is very important, very, very important. Srila Prabhupada is saying, yes, this is the only technique. Srila Prabhupada is saying, this is the only technique. When you follow the 4 regulative principles and then read Prabhupada books, then you will have the all potency to distribute Bhagavatam sets. This should be an encouragement for us. Oh, okay, now let me become a serious follower of following the principles given by my Guru Maharaj, Srila Prabhupada. Let me follow it. And if somebody thinks that, oh, this is very big, how I can say that you distribute Srimad Bhagavatam, definitely you will also get the purity and you will be able to follow the principles. Definitely, we should follow the principles, even if you think that, or at least we should be sincere enough to think that I should follow the principles. Then you will get the mercy automatically. Oh, you are sincerely trying to follow the principles, then you will get the mercy. And if you distribute Srimad Bhagavatam, naturally you will get the mercy and then you'll be able to follow the principles. So whatever it be, we just want to distribute Bhagavatam sets. Let there be any reason that we keep on distributing sets, and one time we'll be able to flood the whole world Srimad Bhagavatam sets. So I just stop here. I think I took so much time. I just stop here. Any questions are there? Sorry, I just took so much time. We just stop here. Thank you very much, devotees. Please sincerely pray to Prabhupada and Guru Parampara that you just distribute Srimad Bhagavatam sets, set after set, and month after month, whole life we can distribute and get the bliss of book distribution. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai.